Welcome back, everyone. I am Zadie, and this is Kerbal Space Program. And today, people, we're going to be doing some ScanSat stuff. We haven't really paid that much attention to it here in the past. We've done a few things here and there, but there's some good ScanSat data to be had by getting the biomes of Minimus and by doing a low-resolution scan of Minimus. So we're going to do that today, and I'm going to go ahead and just tell you guys up front, I am sorry as can be. My voice sounds like crap. I am sick. I am trying to make this work today while I've got a chance to record, and so if my voice gets on your nerves, I apologize. I feel like garbage. That being said, though, thank you very much for joining me today. I do appreciate it. I also like to give a shout out to Jolly Roger Aerospace. You need to go check out his channel if you haven't already. He's doing something called PFC, which is like a competition. You make airplanes. He's got rules and stuff on there. Please go check out his channel and please participate in that. Building aircraft and stuff in KSP is actually kind of fun, and I'm going to be participating in it, and I want you guys to. I know the Z Nation is small and all, but, you know, we're growing at a rapid pace, and part of that is because of Jolly Roger Aerospace, and I just want to give him a quick shout out and thank you, and tell you guys to go over and check out his video for PFC 5, and enter to play. It'll be a fun time for you. Alright. Not enough plugging and enough me sounding like hot garbage. What we're doing today is, first off, we're modifying our, we modified our ScanSat at the first part of this. Now we're modifying the actual sat. We're going to put a communications array around Minimus so that we have coverage around it at all times, or for at least most of the time. We're going to put 3 satellites in orbit around Minimus to accomplish this, and kind of put them in a triangular kind of orbits. That way they can all talk to each other and relay stuff back to Kerbal. Sorry about that, I had a burp. But yeah, so we're gonna set up the relay satellites over there, and that'll be the first thing we do. After we've got that set up, that's when we'll actually do the ScanSat at the end of the episode. So just right now, I'm just showing you the building of the rocket, the modifications of the new Satellite Mark V. We've got better solid rocket boosters on there, and some better design all around. It still goes really fast. I forgot some stuff. That's why you're seeing me go back in there. Actually forget a couple of things. We need to do a couple of upgrades here, but yeah. So that's the body. We're gonna upgrade the actual probe body. I didn't do that. I forgot we had our upgraded probes. So we're just gonna throw one of those bad boys on there, and then throw the rest of this stuff on there as well, just to make things a little bit better and add, you know, redesign it essentially to be a little bit better. We're also gonna put some stability stuff on there, and some communication stuff, and some science stuff on there as well. The reason we're going to put some science stuff on there as well is because this model is not only going to be excuse me, it's not only going to be, my voice sounds like garbage, god damn it. Oh man, I feel like crap. These satellites are not only going to be for just putting a communications relay around Minimus. We're actually going to use them as well for when we have any kind of satellite contract that we can fulfill with them. That's why we've got to have the science stuff on there, because those contracts usually require you to have like the thermometer, the accelerometer, the barometer, and some other stuff like that as well. So that's why we always, even though these are being built for a very specific purpose, they still need certain things on them to fulfill requirements for other things that we might do with them. And as you can see, we forgot to put Kerbal Engineer on there, which is what that green circuit board was, and give it some stability assist at the top as well. That way to help balance out the, or help give you some control for it. So here's our launch of our first satellite we're sending to Minimus. You know I love a good launch, so I love showing these things, and you will see really, really quickly that we get smoking off that pad, and you usually want to keep around, 250, 300 meters per second when you're this low in the atmosphere. Unfortunately, with solid rocket boosters, there's not a whole lot you can do. I've set the acceleration on them very low, so they burn longer, which is it's a balance thing. So they don't accelerate as fast, but they burn longer, which means more acceleration overall, or something along the lines of that. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician. All I know is that I keep lowering the acceleration on these things, and they burn longer, but we still end up going, 900 meters per second in low carbon atmosphere, which you see the heating effects from that. So it's not the most efficient, but since they're solid rocket boosters and we're not wasting any fuel whatsoever, I don't see it as a problem. So, standard operating procedure here, we're going to get into the inclination of minimus once we got into orbit. I didn't feel like I needed to show you guys getting into orbit, because you guys seen me get into orbit a billion times by now. But minimus is still fairly new, so, showing you how to, you set minimus as your target, you get into the same inclination as minimus, and then you start planning your maneuver nodes around to where you can actually get an encounter with minimus. But you have to be in the same inclination as minimus before you can do that. So you see here I've sped up our burn towards minimus. This is 300 times speed. Or maybe not 300 times speed, but it's 300% sped up. As we speed our way towards minimus to get our encounter. And then once we get into the influence of minimus, we set our orbit. We want our orbit to be not too far away, but not too close to minimus for this relay network. It's if you're too far away, well, actually I don't know. The range on these dishes is pretty good. So I mean, I guess we could have done something a little bit further away, but the kickback to that is, and I may actually change that. I may actually after recording this and watching this, I may actually go back and change that later to them having a higher orbit. That way, the reasoning I went for a short orbit is because the shorter the orbit, the shorter amount of time it takes for it to go around minimus. So that way, if there is a blackout period, it won't be nowhere near as long. It'll speed through it, yada yada yada. But if you're further back, the orbit takes a lot longer. But at the same time, and here's the second rocket going up. Here's the second rocket getting put into minimus orbit. At the same time, if you do it further back, the orbit may take longer. So if there is a blackout period, it could potentially be longer. But it being further back actually gives you more field of view to talk to your other satellites and stuff out there. So maybe I should have done it further back. Here's rocket number 3. Yeah, take off, you beautiful, beautiful rocket. And here in a second, you'll see rocket number 3 going into orbit around the minimus. Now you can see on there that the two satellites are pretty close together. This is not perfect. I would need MechJeb to make this perfect, and even with MechJeb, there is some wiggle room for stuff. But it's really hard to do manually. And this is our ScanSat satellite. I put MechJeb on there because I was going to try a few things with it. It doesn't work out. So I wanted to put it in a very specific orbit. That thing got hot fast. This is obviously sped up as well. Yeah, I haven't really used MechJeb yet, but I do plan on doing it for communication satellites and stuff like that. So, yeah, as you can see, I'm just kind of toying with the settings and stuff. And this thing, of course, did go straight freaking up because, kind of messed up the acceleration on the solid rocket boosters. Not my best, launch, but it'll get the job done. Oh, you know what? Maybe I do use it for orbit circularization. That's what it looks like I just did. So I am kind of using it. It's still the early stages of MechJeb in the tree, so there's not a whole lot you can do. You can circular a lot. It's gonna make me say that word. Jesus, redneck. Circularize. God damn it. Circular. Why can't I say that word? It's I can hear it clearly in my head. Circular. God damn it. Oh, there's gonna be so many comments. Circularize your orbit. I'm sticking with it. It's redneck speak, and I'm sick, so bite me. You can use it to circular. I gotta quit saying it. You can use it to round out your orbit, which is what I did, and you can also, I think, use it to set your inclination to match your target, which is what I'm doing here as well. So we're still in the very beginnings of MechJeb. We haven't got all the fancy stuff to where it can take off land and all that good stuff on its own yet, but we're getting there. And to be honest with you, we're probably not going to abuse MechJeb. Like I said, I just kind of want to use it for my satellites so I can put them in perfect orbits, because the OCD part of me wants them there, and plus I want perfect coverage around the moons of Minimus and stuff like that. Now, when it comes to going to Eve or going to Duna and stuff like that, don't know. We'll be sending probes. We may be sending people, because the communications going back and forth is going to be very, very spotty. I haven't tried that far out. I'm sure there's satellites that make it that far, but I don't know if there's a delay in the signal or any of that stuff. So probes could get really tricky at that point. But for right now, I mean, we're fine here in the Kerbal system. We've got plenty of satellites out there. We've also got plenty of what the hell? Oh. That was MechJeb doing that maneuver. So that's why it's kind of so way off. But we got it straightened out. I don't know why I froze there for a second. Yeah, who knows? So like I said, we've done this before. The further out you are, the easier it is to manipulate your encounter with Minimus. So we definitely want this to be in a polar to partial polar orbit. That way we can get complete coverage of Minimus, and that'll the brain struggling, mind not working, thoughts, words. You get in a polar orbit, so that way you can actually scan the entire planet. Because if you put it in equatorial orbit, all you get is the equator, because you're just spinning around, and the moon actually spins with you. But if you put it in a polar orbit, the moon actually spins underneath you. So each time you come around in an orbit, you're actually going over a different part of the moon. I hope that makes sense. I don't know any other way to describe it. I know how to describe it. I got something good for this. I got something good. Say you're peeling an orange, and you were to just go along the equator of the orange, and you just kept peeling and peeling and peeling. You're not going to get anything. You're just going to get there. You're just going to sit there and just keep peeling the same spot. It's going to carve out around the equator. But if you were to spin the orange the same direction you were spinning it while you were on the equator, and started going north to south, that's how it would carve out the entire apple. Orange. Maybe was not the best analogy, but that's the best way I know how to explain it. So yeah, so being in a slight polar orbit is what we need. You also gotta make sure you're close enough to you gotta make sure you're close enough to Minimus in order to get the actual readout. And with ScanSat, you got to make sure you change to the planet that you're actually on, which is, you can look at any planet that you've scanned so far. So we can pull up Kerbal with this thing because it's got it in its database. But you got to make sure you pull up the right one. So yeah, this is us scanning Minimus. We're fulfilling a contract by doing this. And yeah, it's going to get us some sweet, sweet money and some sweet, sweet science, which I am all about. I'm all about that sweet, sweet money and sweet, sweet science. But guys, this is taking us to the end of our episode of today. Sitting here as we do circles around Minimus, getting the whole thing filled out. You can see in the top right, we did fulfill our contract. It is over there just blinking away. Thanks guys for watching. So you guys know I always do appreciate a like, favorite, subscription, thumbs up, thumbs down. You know all those wonderful, wonderful things. Z Nation, you guys have been fantastic. You've been killing the videos. You've been killing the comments. You've been killing the likes. I cannot thank you guys enough. You have made this probably the best experience on YouTube I've ever had. And like I said, I'm collabing with Jolly Roger with helping him out with PFC. I'm going to be doing trials. I'll be a judge for him for that. Please, 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 if you are not subscribed to him, go over and check out his channel. I really think you'll like it. It's really good. Anyways, guys, that's enough rambling for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time for more Redneck Space Program.